Welcome back to this World of Warcraft Let's Play. You're with Sambo, and joining us as always is our Worgen mage Seraphis with her lovely new white dress. How are you today, Seraphis? Greetings to you as well. And of course, welcome to you too at home. If you have joined us in our last episode, you'll remember that we were questing away here in the Blackwald. If we had a look at our map, you can see we're right in the heart of this doomy, gloomy, swampy, tree, dark, yeah, you know what I mean, place called the Blackwald. And of course, we'd been doing some mining and fighting some of the banshees. All of this is north behind the Stormglen village, which is where we were previously and where we'd done some fishing. And of course, now we've got this big quest coming up here where we went in the last episode to have a look at a bit of a cabin out in the woods there, out in the Blackwald, and there were a bunch of rangers. And we thought, gosh, how on earth are we going to get in there? And of course, we've now picked up this quest where we're going to get some assistance, thank goodness. So if we have a look in our bags, we can see that we have this item here called the Horn of Tal'Doren, which is a quest item, and it says when we use it, it calls for Tobias Mistmantle and his Worgen to distract the Dark Rangers at the Woods End cabin. And that's exactly what we need in order to be able to get in there, because of course, if you have watched our last episode, you'll know that we're trying to find some kind of Scythe of Elune or something like that in order to do a ceremonial process here underneath the tree of Tal'Doren. And of course, we met these Ishnu Daldier, but we met these night elves for the first time in the last episode as well. So there's lots to do. Let's get right into it. But of course, before we do, you'll notice up here on my mini-map, we've got a couple of copper veins. And you know the drill, folks. We're not going to let any copper go to waste, because we not only want that to level up our mining skill, but we want that in order to make copper bars, of course, that we can sell on the auction house for money. We all like money, and in this case, copper is something that will give us lots of it when we finally get to a major city. Excuse me, I had an itchy nose then. Oh, not sure what's going on. When too much information. When we get ourselves to a major city, and of course we get ourselves therefore to an auction house, which you haven't seen yet. So lots of exciting times coming up ahead. Of course, well before then, we've got to make our way through this whole area, this whole region of Gilneas here. And we've really only sort of covered off 3 of the sub-regions. We've done the original Duskhaven, which well, is no more. There's no more Duskhaven there, you can see. In fact, let me bring up the map. If you're only just joining us in this series, this big chunk down here to the southwest used to be Duskhaven. It is no more. That got sort of eaten away in a big tide. It's all floating. Well, there's nothing floating anymore. It's all sunk underneath the water, so there's absolutely no sign of it left whatsoever. We then went up to the Greymane Manor. Then we came down the road in a caravan here, and we passed through this swampy area where we had to help out some of the survivors who had been attacked in the evacuation from Greymane Manor. And then we came through into Stormglen village, and of course we've been doing some tasks for the mayor in Stormglen, and now we've been sent out the back here to the Blackwald, which is where we are now. So there you go, a quick history lesson of our journey so far as a Worgen. Oh, I do love this zone. Look at it. I just love the muted colours. There's the sort of red on the ground, the grey. Look at the detail in the trees up there. I mean, people keep saying, oh gosh, WoW's old school. It's got crappy graphics. It's really old and all the rest of it. You know what? Yes, it is really old by today's standards. In fact, it came out at the end of 2004. Can you believe it? It's over 6 years ago. But if you ask me, it's just so stylized, so easy on the eyes, and so very clever in terms of the texture use and the lighting. It's just fantastic, and each zone really feels different. And each zone has a particular feel to it, whether it's gloomy or bright or breezy or lush jungle, you name it. It does the look and feel really well. I'm just looking at our map there to try and find my way to the cabin, and there we have it. So you might remember this now if you had watched the last episode. We've got this cabin up here, and it's absolutely swarming in Dark Rangers. And of course, they're sent here by the Lady Sylvanas, or Sylvanas, or whatever you want to say. So we're not going to make it through there. They're all level 11. We're at level 11. There's a whole bunch of them, and we'd just get our rears kicked. And looks like someone else is doing the quest. Anyway, let's There we go, we're going to use the quest item, and that's going to call in a whole bunch of our friendly Worgen, and they're going to deal damage to the rangers and take care of them for us, so we don't have to. But of course we can still lay down a bit of smack. A bit of a smack down there. We can help our... Whoops, what happened? What happened? Whoa! What's going on? Oh, hang on, are they running away? No, they're attacking me. No, what's going on? That doesn't look good. Well, I'm not sure what happened there. I think somebody else actually triggered off the quest and may have started it, and then we kind of aggroed them. Let's see if we can polish them off. I think we're going to die. We'll freeze them in place, and oh, yep, no, that didn't work. Yikes. There we go, we died. Alright, well, there's a first for everything. I guess, well, actually, it's not the first time, it's the second time that we've died in this Let's Play series. I could have used a potion, but I did want to save it because I know we're not that far away. If you have a look on the map, in fact, we're right nearby where we need to be. Now, just a refresher here, what happens when you die? Well, lots of things. You have the Return to Graveyard button up the top. Now, that is actually a new addition to WoW. That didn't always used to be there. So it means if you end up running around, and by the way, when you're dead, or when you're a ghost like this, you can see that you're a ghost, obviously, you could easily get lost. So you click on this button here, and it will return you back here, just so you know. Now, if you want to res here and now, you can by talking to the spirit healer here, and it brings up a warning, which you should read, and it says if you find your corpse you can resurrect for no penalty, and that's what we're actually going to do. If I resurrect you, all of your items will take up 25% durability damage, and that's both equipped items and items in your bag, so bear that in mind, that they're all going to go down to a durability level of 25% less, and of course that means you're going to have to go and repair them. And you can see there as I'm hovering over an item, durability 65 out of 65. So you can do this instant res, but you'll take 25% durability damage, and you'll be afflicted for 1 minute of resurrection sickness, which basically reduces all your stats by a large amount. And I think that amount is about 75%, which effectively makes you completely useless. Anyhow, we're not going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do here is run to our corpse. Now you can see, well, you may not be able to see it there, you can see it popping up. There's a little tombstone on the map, and that is exactly where my corpse is. Plus, you can see it on the mini-map, and there's a big red arrow leading to it as well, so you can't miss it. And if you run over here, you'll see, there we are, there's our dead body, Corpse of Seraphis, and someone's invited us to a guild. Not sure what's going on. Someone's messaged us, hello, Raging Rockets is now recruiting, awesome guild. Alright, thanks very much, but no thanks, we'll decline that for now. Anyway, there's our body down there, the Corpse of Seraphis. We can now accept the res, and we've taken no penalty. Now, by the way, let's have a look and see where that person is. We can shift-click on their name, and that brings up the fact that they're a level 85 human paladin, and they're in Stormwind City. So clearly they're just going through the Who functionality, and oh, and there's my skeleton, by the way. The Who functionality to see who's around. Now, actually, that's something that we should do. Remind me to do that. We might have a look at the Who is functions after we've done this quest. So let's try this again. Let's blow this horn. There we go. Tobias Mismantle yells, keep them occupied, my brothers. Allow Seraphis to retrieve the Scythe. Okay, so obviously we've got to go in here and try and get the Scythe while those guys are keeping the bad guys busy. And there we go. We've got a mysterious artifact there. We need to get out of here before the Worgens back off, because of course we saw what happened last time. When they back off, all hell breaks loose and we will get killed. Now we have to clear our path a little bit here, so let's do that as well. Remembering, of course, that these guys are casters, so we can actually use our counter spell if we want to, and that will shut them the heck up, that will silence them, or rather, that will interrupt their spell casting. Get it right, Sambo. And there's our corpse again. Oh, hang on, are we getting... Look at that, one of them has actually followed us. Okay, let's freeze them in place with Frost Nova. And now we'll cast off a Frost Bolt, which means that they'll slow down when they come to us. They're snared, you can see that effect come up there. We'll throw an arcane barrage at them, and that seemed to deal to them nicely. Thank you very much. Oh, and I can see over here that we have some copper. Oh, lucky we saw that. We never want to miss out on a node, because of course that is money. So we'll get ourselves back to safety and at the quest handed area. and I'll take you through the who is functionality because it's one of the things that I tend to find not a lot of people know about, and it's really, really handy for a whole bunch of reasons. And they've built in the functionality into the game, and nobody hardly uses it. So we'll put an end to that by showing you what I mean. Anyway, let's kill off a couple more mobs along the way because, of course, XP is XP. We want all of it that we can get. Now, by the way, another thing before I kill this mob up here, notice this up the top here, just above my cast bar. You can see this is Forte Exorcist here. Rather, this is Quartz. I'm sorry, this is the add-on Quartz doing its business. You can see there that any mob I've got selected, it will actually show the cast bar for that mob. So that's a really, really handy little...
to target something first.
Yes, you do. That's a really handy little indicator there that becomes apparent when you are in later levels, because you really need to know what particular spell a mob is casting in order to know what to do. So hang on, let's do that again just to explain. So watch up here near my cast bar. Oops. And you'll see there goes the shadow bolt. So I now, there we go, I can cast the counter spell right in the middle of their cast, and that will silence them basically. That will stop them, interrupt that cast, and of course that means less damage for me, which is great. Let's dark flight back so we can run as fast as we can. We can see a bright yellow question mark there up ahead waiting for us to hand in. Alright, but before we do that, let's have a look at this who is functionality. So we haven't really done much of this yet. We're going to hit O, which is the social or friends list screen, if you like, and it brings up this screen here. And of course, you've got your usual stuff. We can add a friend, so we can basically type in their email address or their character name. And now, by the way, their email address is for their real ID function, because this is, of course, part of Battle.net, just the same as StarCraft 2. And in fact, if you've got players, friends rather, that play StarCraft 2 on an American server, you will see them appear online as well in this Battle.net friends list here. So you can see here we've got some people. You've got an ignore list. If anyone is rude, you can type /ignore on their name, or you can right click on their name. For example, if we want to go back to this person here that messaged us before and ignore them, we just go right click and ignore, and that will put them on this ignore list up here. But what you can do is a thing called who, and here we go. Now we've got a who is list. Okay, now we can refresh that, and you can see here what it does is it gives us just a random bunch of players that are around, and in fact it's found 49 people. But what we can do is we can do it with commands. So for example, if I wanted to know who was in this local zone, I can do something like this, who. And if I type who, it will automatically default, you can see here in the who window, it will automatically default to, it says Z-Gilneas, and that means, hey, only look at people in the Gilneas zone, and it's automatically seen that my level is level 11, and it's put a filter in there, 8-14. Now what this means is that it's automatically just said, hey, look for anyone who's a character that's between the levels of 8 and 14 in this zone, and display them up here. And you can see that there's us, there's 3 others, and we're all about 8, 10 or 11. If I wanted to, I could get rid of that 8 to 14 and just say zone Gilneas. And there you go, you can see there's a whole bunch more people there, including some level 85s who are in the battle for Gilneas, which is a PvP battleground. But you can see there we've got level 1s, level 4s, level 5s, a whole bunch of people. It's a great way of finding people to quest with, because what of course you can do is right click and whisper them, which is to send them a message, or you can invite them to a group, or you can ignore them, of course. So that's a great little way, and we can actually filter it up the top here by zone, by guild, or by race. And you can see there that there's Worgens, Draenei's, Night Elves, and Dwarves. We can do it by guild, and it actually shows the guild that they're in, which is really cool. Or of course we can do it by zone. Now let's say I wanted to find a particular player. And this functionality is really cool, by the way. It works just like who is from an IRC server, if you've ever worked on one of them, although of course there's not many IRC servers around these days, but you out there who are old school will remember IRC. It's just like that. So I, for example, could say who, so I go /who, and we'll use ourselves as a test in this case. I can do wildcard cards with somebody's name. So let's say you know somebody's name is Seraphis. You don't know how to spell it, but you can type in /who Ser, S-E-R, and that will bring up everybody's name with SER in it. And there you go, you've got a great big long list. Now, this may not be narrow enough of a command, because of course that's brought up a whole bunch of 85s there. So another little trick, by the way, if you hit enter and you hold Alt up, it will repeat the last command there. Well, rather, it will post it into your chat inbox. So that's Alt up, and that will allow you to flick through everything that we've typed, and of course we can go Alt down as well, which will go the other way. So let's say who, sir, and let's just go say 1-8. And what that will do now is it will actually bring up players within within the range of 1 to 8. Let's try that again. Hang on. Who 1-8. Now, why isn't it working? Maybe things have changed since the last time I've tried. Let's try that again. 1-8. Oh, we probably want to do it in the zone we're in. Let's try. Hang on. Who Sarah? What am I? I've got a funny A. I don't think that's the right one. Hang on. What am I? Sarah. Oh, 2. Whoops. I'm using a bad name. Let's try something else. Let's try maybe PRIN. So I can see there's someone there. There we. Oh, what's that done? That's brought up the zone. Oh. Now hang on. Why am I having a brain moment here? Who? Let's say, let's try searching for someone who's actually there. Tamali. There we go. Okay, so maybe I'm not putting in enough characters in the name, but that has brought up Tamali. We can see that they're in Winterspring. They're a level 85 hunter. Oh, by the way, we can also do stuff like /who. We can go hunter, and then we can go 1-10. And there we go. That has brought up only hunters between the levels of 1 and 10. And that's server-wide, by the way. You can see there's people in Dunmoreau there, Elwyn Forest, Stormwind City. And again, we can right-click and whisper them, invite them to a group, etc., etc. We could do something like, let's have a go again, /who priest. And we can say level 70 only. There we go, and there's 3 level 70 priests there, so that's quite handy if you're looking for a healer for your group or something like that. We can also go, who Worgen, and we can say level 20. Let's see if there's no Worgens level 20. Let's try who Worgen 10 to say, I don't know, 50. There we go, that's brought up a list of all the Worgens and where they are, and that's a nice wide range. And you can see there, I think the maximum amount of results that it returns is something like 50. So I'm pretty sure that you can use wildcards. So let's try, here we have someone called ALAZK. Let's see if we can actually find them by typing ALAZ. And yes, we can. Okay, so it's obviously working better with 4 characters, and then you can find people's names. So it's good if you sort of kind of know the name of someone and want to find them. Now, look, there's lots more you can do with the who. There's a whole bunch of commands, specific commands that you can use. The best thing to do is to go onto a WoW wiki or something like that and find a list of all the commands. But just remember, at the end of the day, if you're looking for someone in your zone, just literally type who. It will automatically populate the zone you're in and a range of levels around the level that you are, and they're the most common ones that you're probably going to want to group with if you need a hand. So there you go, folks. That's the /who functionality. Now, in the meantime, we have a quest to hand in. Here we have this mysterious artifact that we picked up from that ranger cabin. So we want to hand that in. We get ourselves 600 XP, which is good, and it's saying, hey, neither human nor beast. It's time, Seraphis. This alchemy that has kept the beast inside you at bay will not last for long. Now, you might remember, and like I said, by the way, folks, we're not going to read every single quest, but this is important stuff because it's all talking about how we became a Worgen in the first place, and of course the cure for it, because you may remember way back when we started, we ended up in some stocks in Duskhaven, and of course we were getting ingredients for an antidote that was being administered to us, and we can't go on using that forever, of course. So this guy's saying the first cursed Worgen were night elf druids like our new ally. So there you go. That's why we're the connection between the night elves and us over there. And by the way, that's a druid Worgen that you're seeing beside us there in cat form, who's just leveled up. Let's give him a congratulations.
Fortune smiles upon you.
There we go. It says there, you congratulate Kitty Purry. Anyway, we'll select our quest giver again. The first cursed Worgen were night elf druids like our new allies. They, however, abandoned the balance that the rest of their kind embraced and allowed the beast to take over their minds. And he says thank you too. Isn't that nice? It's only fitting that their brethren be the ones that deliver us from the curse. Go, mage, drink from the waters of Tal'Doren and make peace with yourself. So this is very interesting, isn't it? We have to drink from the well of tranquility and the well of balance and the well of fury. And you can see here we'll be able to choose one of these rewards, and one of them there that we can use, the only one we can use, is the Staff of Earned Tranquility. It's a really, really nice staff there. It gives us 1 extra intellect and a whole bunch more DPS. And if we shift click on it, you can see it's an extremely unique staff. Now, I hope you can see that on the YouTube video, but I remember the last time I used a Worgen, I kept this staff forever just as a keepsake because it's a completely unique item that I haven't seen anywhere else in the game. So you definitely don't want to be throwing it away. But what you probably can't tell in the YouTube video there is that it is in fact a skull. I know that's not very nice in terms of tranquility, but it is a skull. It's got roses growing around it. And what actually happens, you probably can't see it, but the actual staff it actually drops rose petals. Yes, that's right. It's actually basically petals are falling off the thing. We can just see it there in the dressing gown window, in the dressing room window there. I don't know if you can see them falling down. But we'll definitely be able to see that when we equip it. So let's accept that quest, because this is a big deal. And you can see here now that these are glowing, these little wells here. So we've got the well of balance. And look at that, we've got a lighting effect there. Let the scythe unbind that which was not meant to be bound. Let the soul master the beast, lest the beast master the soul. And how cool is that? Can you see that? They've got the little leaves coming down there. Such awesome effects. I love all the magical effects in WoW. Again, people say the graphics are rubbish. I totally disagree. There we go. Just as Darrell Nair soothes the cursed druids who gave into the beast and abandoned balance, let Tal'Doren soothe Seraphis. And there we go. There's that lovely effect of the leaves and the green light coming down upon us.
Goddess bless you.
Goddess bless you as well. And finally, now by the way, that was the Well of Tranquility. And here we go, the Well of Fury. Just as Goldrin's spirit once blessed our druids, let Seraphis be blessed with the wisdom of his race and the ferocity of the wolf god. Oh, I love those effects. So cool. And the music in the background, it's all very awesome. And in fact, I do love the whole night elf thing that goes on. If you get a chance to go and play in Teldrassil, or rather to play a night elf, which you'll end up in Teldrassil, which is their starting zone, it is a beautiful thing to do. Lovely music, lovely sound effects, lovely visuals, and of course the whole night elf ethos is just wonderful.
We'll do what we must.
Here we go, it is done then, Seraphis. You are one of us now. We're going to get this Staff of Earned Tranquility. There we go. Now the first thing we're going to do, of course, is equip that.
Lorna!
Whoa, here we go. Whoops, we've got a timed event here. We've got King Gen Greymane coming in. We've got Lord Godfrey.
Crowley, you and your elven allies are hereby ordered to serve along the king's army. Cursed or not, you are still bound by Gilneas law.
Does this toad speak for you, Gen? Do you come to our dwelling as a friend, or do you come as a tyrant?
Make it quick.
Oh, friend, I've come to you as an equal.
Look at that. That is King Gen Greymane.
Aye, Gen. It is not law that binds us. It is something far stronger. My men are ready to give their lives under your command.
It is decided.
We
then.
will prevail.
We will unite all Gilneans and drive the Forsaken from our lands.
How was that, folks? Very, very interesting. That was the king, who of course was human. Now we've discovered that he is in fact a Worgen. How is that? So he's on our side. That was very cool. Now, what were we doing? We were going to our outfits, of course, selecting normal, and we've got this Staff of Earned Tranquility. Let's wear that. We'll save this equipment set. Yes, of course. And hopefully you can see there, can you see some little rose petals floating down here? Here we go, round about there. You can see one floating down our back. and probably as we run around you can see the little petals. They're very small, but you can probably see a couple of dots there falling off. It is just an absolutely awesome staff. There it is again. And by the way, I'm hitting Z there to cycle through weapons and to equip and unequip, visually that is, our staff. What a cool look. It's a skull with roses with petals falling off of it. I absolutely love it. There's some weapons in this game that are just way too cool.
We'll do what we must.
Anyway, return to Stormglen. So he's saying it'll be a long time before our nation comes together again. The old political divisions pale in comparison to what divides us now. Yet, if there was ever a time for us to come together and unite against a common enemy, it is now. And it is you, Seraphis, who has proven able to bridge the gap between our people. Return to Stormglen and tell them it is safe to go through the Blackwald on their way to Tempest's Reach. We will take care of any Forsaken who follows them. Alright, so that's an important one because if we have a look here, we'll see that we've been making our way east across the zone, and of course we need to get through the Blackwald or pass by the Blackwald in order to get to the next area, which is up here called Tempest Reach. So now that we've made friends with the Worgen in Tal'Doren here at the Blackwald, we can go back to our town and let them know that everything's okay and they're not going to get attacked, of course. Now let's just double check in here that we haven't got... Oh, we have! Okay, I wonder if I got that before and I didn't see it. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay, this is really important, folks. The whole point of that ceremony there, I nearly forgot about it. Can't believe it. And of course, it happens at the same time that we get the Staff of Earned Tranquility. We got this. 2 forms. You have learnt a new spell. Turn into your currently inactive form. That's right, folks. This is a big one. If we look up here, it's a racial, and of course we can drag this down to our hotbar. Let's just pop it down here for now. What do you think it does? Well, you're about to find out. Are you ready? Here we go. And look at that. It switches between our 2 forms. Okay, so obviously that's a human. So let's have a bit of a laugh. There we go, that is us as a human, and of course while I'm a human, if I were to use the button, the racial ability 2 forms, watch this. How cool is that? That is the best transformation ever. I just absolutely love it. It's just so awesome. Oh boy, let's try that again. Going back is still cool, but it is nowhere near as awesome as doing the transformation. And by the way, I think you can do it while you're running. How awesome is that? I could do this all day, folks, seriously. Now there's one more thing I want to show you as well, because we spoke about this way back in an earlier episode, and that is the true nature of this dark flight ability here. And you can see here, if you hover over it, the tooltip says activates your true form, increasing current movement speed by additional 40% for 10 seconds. Okay, watch this. It does a double. How cool is that? And the sound effects and everything, it actually transforms you and then gives you the speed boost, which of course we want at the moment because we're about to head back to our village. Of course, not before we collect some copper veins along the way. Let's transform back. There we go. Oh, now that's another thing I wanted to check, of course, is the dance. I wonder if our dance is different as a human than it is as the Worgen. It probably is. Yes, look at that. We've got the human daggy dance there. If we transform ourselves back, as we cry out in pain, I don't know if you can hear that there, if the sound's loud enough. And of course we've got a totally different dance as a Worgen. So that is way cool. I absolutely love it, the fact that we've now got 2 forms. So of course, while we're wandering around somewhere like, say, you know, Stormwind's, oh, look at them, look at the textures, look at the details, look at the modelling. Oh, I love it in here so much. It's so cool. Anyway, if we're wandering around in Stormwind as a human, unless someone actually hovers over us to see that we're a Worgen, they would have no idea. And then, of course, we can surprise them with a, well, guess what? We have a darker side, and look at the effects there, the dust that gets kicked up, everything. It's way cool. Absolutely love it. So it's well worth doing that quest line, of course, to get those abilities. Before we hand in this quest, and I know we're running out of time, let's knock out our copper bars, because we've got, look at that, 27 of them. Goodness gracious. Wait a minute, we're level 66 now. Before we do that, let's see if we can go and train, because I'm pretty sure that it's level 65 that we can skill up. So let's have a look at mining. And yes, look at that, we can. We can now learn 2 new recipes. Now that we're level 65, one of them is smelt bronze. Yes, thank you very much. And the other one is smelt tin. So congratulations to us. We're now...
You wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry.
You wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry. There's another incredible Hulk reference there. We can now smelt bronze bars and tin bars as well. And you can see there, of course, they're worth a whole lot more money. And basically, we're going to start needing them in order to level up, because you can see here our smelt copper has turned green, which means it's not going to skill up every single time. But smelt tin and smelt bronze are yellow, which means we're going to get a much higher chance of gaining a skill up when we use them. Of course, what we need is tin ore. Now, in the zone we're currently in, I haven't seen any tin nodes. Who knows though, maybe when we head up here to Tempest Reach, there may be some tin nodes up there that we can get. And of course, once we've got tin, not only are we going to be able to smelt tin, but we're also going to be able to smelt bronze, because that's a combination of a copper bar, which is what we're making now, and a tin bar. We need the 2 of those ingredients, and obviously some recipes, like in the blacksmithing, engineering, and jewel crafting, need those bronze bars. Now let's also add some things to our bank if we've got them. Well, it doesn't look like there is anything we can... Oh yes, some rough stone there. We'll pop them into the bank. Do we need... Where's the general goods vendor? Oh, that's right, she's in here. We'll probably need to sell up some junk if we've got any. Yes, we'll come and see you in a minute, Gwen.
Alright then, what have we here?
Selling our junk, and no, we didn't have any. Let's just quickly make this bandage, because we did pick up some linen along our journey. And we'll go back here and craft ourselves some copper. So let's create these, and you can see, I don't know, maybe you can see them, the petals coming off our awesome new staff there that I love so much. So many cool things about this starting zone. And of course, if it's been a while since you've played it, I highly suggest you come back and have another romp through it, because it's lots and lots of fun. Right, so you can see here now it's on average 4 to 5 copper bars. It is a little bit random, but the average is a lot higher in terms of how many of these copper bars we need to actually smelt before we can get a skill increase. Although we are up to 70 out of 75. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good Lord. And that's because, look at that, it's actually turned grey now. So what that means, that skill, or rather this recipe will actually not give us any skill ups whatsoever now. So boy, we really need to find ourselves some tin in order to be able to gain a level, in, well, 5 levels in this case, because we're 70 out of 75, and be able to skill up our particular craft. So hopefully that's given you a good idea of how the skill up system works. And now that it's gone grey, it's of no use. There we go. King Greymane gave me a brief rundown of the plan before he set off for the Blackwald. Doesn't make it sound any less crazy. I will do as Darius asked and have our people move through the Blackwald. You ought to catch up with King Greymane. He and Krenin went into Tempest Reach after Lord Godfrey confirmed survivors had made their dwelling there. So we have to follow the road out of here, and apparently Krenin is waiting for us at a bridge before Tempest Reach, and that's where we have to go. So it looks like our evacuation is carrying on, and we're going to make our way through here. Let's have a look at the map. So we're going to carry on along the road, and it looks like there's a bridge coming up ahead, and that's where we have to meet Krenin Aranis along the road towards Tempest Reach. But of course, we've run out of time as always. That's something that we'll do in the next episode. In the meantime, I certainly hope you guys are having a great day, and thank you very much for watching this episode. Certainly hope you join us in the next one. Until then, it's me, Sambo, and Seraphis, our Worgen Mage, saying take care. We'll see you later, and bye-bye.